So hello friends, today we will cover how we can unlock the wealth for our future self. So we will be discussing the basic tenets about the wealth building. So in today's session we will cover the importance of investing, what is the inflation challenge, difference between the earning and the preserving perspective, what is the power of compounding, investment vehicles, importance of diversification, retirement planning, what are the emotional benefits, what we can do to overcome our fear, what is a good time to start, and the mistakes to avoid. The most important thing to unlock our wealth is that we need to understand the importance of investing. So, in today's world where the inflation numbers are very high, we need to preserve the purchasing power of our money. We cannot do that without becoming aware about how inflation is eroding our wealth. So, we need to become financially empowered. We need to have a habit of investing. In today's world, investing is not just an option, but it is a necessity. But I will try my best to impart all the relevant knowledge which can help you in gaining interest in the investing activities. I think we all are fearful about the inflation because inflation is that thing which erodes the power of our money. Imagine that you buy a cup of coffee of $1 today. After 10 years with a 7% inflation rate, it will start costing you $2 after 10 years. And it's a global phenomenon. It's not only happening in India, it's happening across the world. Similarly, if your father has a 1 lakh rupees 10 years ago, in today's world, the purchasing power of that money is not beyond 34,000, right? So just see that how much purchasing power got eroded just because of inflation. Over the past 2 decades, the average inflation rate that we have observed in India, it's almost 7%. For important things like medical or the education, the inflation is way higher. I think for medical and education, it's almost 14 to 15% if you consider the top tier colleges in India. So it's very important to understand difference between the earning and the preserving wealth. Earning is an art, whereas preserving is a skill. So everyone can earn by some way, but I think people are still struggling to preserve that wealth. So we will understand that with the help of a case study, where we will talking about two fictitious people, Angad and Harjeet. Right? Angad is earning a handsome salary of 15 lakh per annum, but he is spending lavishly and is not prioritizing his investing or saving. He simply save 5% of his income and keep that in saving account, which is just earning an interest rate of 4%. Whereas Harjeet, he earns a salary half than the Angad. It's less than half, right? It's earning 7 lakh per annum, but he's financially responsible and saving and investing wisely. He's saving almost 20% of his income and investing in a diversified portfolio with the average return of 8%, right? So for Angad case, he was earning 15 lakh, and out of it, 5% is 75,000, which he was saving for 20 years. At the end of 20 years, he will have a wealth of 15 lakh, right? Whereas for Harjeet, he was earning 7 lakh, but he was saving 20% of his salary, right? Which was 1 lakh 40,000 for the first year. By the end of 40 years, he will have around 40 lakh. So just imagine the wealth that Harjeet has created with half the salary, right? It's almost 2.5 times the wealth that Angad has built over the 20 years period. So it's important that we should start having a habit of responsibly investing in the safe, diversified portfolios, right? So the key is that we need to work smarter, not harder, and this the important observation is Angad, despite the high income, his growth, wealth growth at his wealth growth at a slower speed, whereas Harjeet, his wealth was beyond the Angad's total wealth. And the important thing is that we must learn the power of compounding by heart. As the favorite quote from the Albert Einstein, that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. One who understands it earns it, and one who doesn't pays for it. Simply imagine that someone is investing 1,000 monthly at an return of 12%, right? He will have roughly 9.9 lakh rupees by the end of 20th year. And with the same rate of return, his money will almost double at every 6 years. It's not a fun number, right? We will understand how we have calculated the 6 year number. So we there is in finance there is a rule which we call as a rule of 72. So whatever is the annual rate of return, you just need to divide 72 with that number. You will get the number of years in which your money will get double. For the 12%, our money was doubling after every 6 year. And I think we have already discussed that if someone is investing 1,000 rupees per monthly, by the end of 20th year, he will have 9 lakh rupees. But imagine that if he just delay his investment for 5 years, what will be the impact of that delay on his corpus? It will be less than half, right? So after 5 years, if he has delayed his investment, after 15 years, he will have around 4.99 lakh rupees. So imagine the roll ball snowball effect. You just need to keep the ball rolling to make more money out of the compounding part, right? For 20 years, it was 9.9 lakh rupees. For 15 years, it was 4.9 lakh. So in the last 5 years, the money got doubled in itself. There are a lot of investment vehicles that we need to understand. Like in today's world, we have stocks, fixed income, real estate, forex, cryptos, or gold. So these are the investment options that we have, right? We just need to ensure that we know the risk return trade off. The more risk we take, there are higher chances of return. But we should have the appetite to bear the maximum drawdown in case the risk part materializes. Right? It's just a simple illustration that if someone has invested a 10,000 rupees monthly, instead of instead of keeping the money in the savings account, by the end of 20th year, he will have almost 4,60,000 extra in his account, just by the virtue of saving in the stocks. I think the most important thing that we also need to learn by heart is that diversification is the key. Diversification will allow our portfolio to grow in any market situation, right? If we diversify, we can cut the portfolio risk almost by 50%. So let's say you have a portfolio of 100% equity, then the annual rate of return that you can assume is 10%. The range will be around 5 to 10%. In a good economic period, the rate you can earn 15%. In a bad economic period, you will earn 10% on 5%, right? On an average, it will be 10%. But if you diversify your investment into the extreme case, like 60% equity, 10% in fixed income, 20% fixed income, and 20% in gold, the range of your return will become narrow, right? 4 to 8%, and you can still earn around 6% on an average, but your maximum drawdown will reduce from 30% to 15%, which is almost 50% of your original risk. And that the main thing is that if we learn how to invest wisely, we can also do the retirement planning, right? Imagine a time when the regular stream of income will vanish. If this imagination will give you a goosebump, that things then that means the things are not planned in the right manner for you, right? Investing today is ensure that you have a comfortable tomorrow. So you need to start, and this is the right time, right? I think there are numerous studies that were carried over for the investors who were investing systematically in the market vis-a-vis the people who were not investing. So people who were investing, those people were 30% more financially secure and confident about their future because they know that they were doing some good thing for their future, right? It will boost their self confidence, or you say the morale of the people who were investing in the market are is normally higher. So I think in India or in throughout the world, when people think about investing, many times they also start fearing that they will start losing money. But I think the diversification is the key. If you diversify in a right manner, then you can overcome your fear, right? Don't let the fear to hinder your financial growth. Learn to manage risk so that you can grow. You have to make volatility as your friend. So volatility is the variation of the uh, is the variation in the returns, right? The returns can be above average or can be below average, right? So we have to be fearful only for the cases where the returns are below average. We don't have to be fearful when the returns are above average, right? Because those are actually making our portfolio grow, right? So we don't need to fear for those cases. So just try to learn how to manage risk wisely. Diversification is the key. And if you ask a wise guy what is the right time to start, he will definitely say start at this point of time, right? So biggest regret that most investors do is that they have not started sooner. I know many people who have started in the market at the age of 18, but they are still regretful that why can't they have started at the age of 10 or 12 or 13, whatever is the earlier age, right? So whether you are of 25 or 55, the best time to start investing is now. So your future self will always thank you whenever you start investing. I think most important thing we also need to understand is that we will all make mistake, right? The main thing that we have to avoid is that we don't have the leverage of repeating the mistake. So, but whenever we make a mistake, make a good journal, right, and just keep sorting those mistakes. Learning from a mistake is a valuable part of the investment process. Even the most successful investors have made mistakes. The key is to learn and adapt. And another thing that we have to, I will again reiterate that timing the market is not important. Time in the market is more important, right? So, all another thing that we all need to vouch is that we should be suspicious of the companies who are not having a good governance standards. So that could be a good key to learn is that we always need to be on alert for detecting the frauds if we are investing in some particular stocks. For index fund, I think it doesn't matter, right? Because you are diversifying anyways, because you're investing in if you are investing in Nifty 50, then you're investing in the top 50 companies, and the fund manager will do will do the necessary due diligence, right? But if you are investing in some specific stocks, then just do the forensic analysis for those stocks. I think we will upload separate videos for that, but you need to vouch for that for those important alerts from market. I think so. With that, we have almost wrapped up our transformative power of investing course, and I hope this videos have has added some values in your life. I wish you best of luck for your future. If you have any queries or if you want me to make videos on some other topics, then feel free to reach out to me. Thank you, everyone.